Kate Milafalcha, welcome to Irish Granny Helen. Welcome to Denise Siegel of Denise Siegel. This is Psychics and Psychos. Please comment who you think is which. Today,
Psychic.
oh please. Well, it's psychics plural.
That's true.
So
But
we're
you're
both
the
psychics, and we're both
Okay, you think we're both? I'm not psycho.
Well,
Are you psycho?
that
Do I not
that
know them?
actually invites some discussion, but this is not the time or place.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I don't really think I'm
So,
psycho. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you, because this has been a very entertaining set of crimes and murders. Just
Entertaining
really
is an interesting word to use,
Yeah,
psycho.
isn't it? This woman, Looney Tunes from the day she was born, and you kind of have to be impressed by her psychopathology. It's fascinating. So I'm not going to go into
She is something else. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
She really is.
not going to go into enormous amounts of detail, but I did put a star every time I got like a red flag for psychopathy.
Uh-huh.
And I just quickly just go through a couple of pages because I have probably 100 of them. I'm not kidding. So we're talking about,
Wow.
okay, I can't pronounce her real name. It is Punjabi, and I'll mess it up, but it's something like Sant Louise Singers. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. She was born in Oklahoma in 1934. Her father, she was half Punjabi. Her father was from the Punjab.
Wait, so she's half from India? She's half Indian?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
And her mother's from Illinois. That's weird too. And another her mother is of Dutch ancestry from Illinois. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna rattle off a few of the things that made me sit up and take notice. So as a teenager, she changed her first name. She became Sandra.
Right.
As an adult, she lied about what happened with her family of origin, that her father had abandoned the family when she was 3 and her mother became a prostitute.
Right.
He died of heart disease. Her sister later reported that Sandra had an incestuous relationship with their brother.
Ugh. Was the brother older or younger?
Pardon me?
Was the brother older or younger?
I have it written down. Hold on here.
That would be interesting. Okay.
Older brother. She her sister also reported that Sandra was a pyromaniac, that she would trap her younger sister and force matches under her fingernails and set them on fire.
Oh my God.
She liked to torture animals. They lived on a family farm, and she would tie up dogs and goats and mutilate and torture them.
Oh my God.
And we're not even out of her teen years yet. She was adopted. Her father died, and then eventually, when she was in high school, they moved to Los Angeles. Her mother and her siblings, and then big gap, no explanation. At the beginning of high school, she was adopted by a couple.
What?
Yeah. And so that, to me, that was a big old red flag. And then they moved.
What did the mom just say, like, I can't deal with her anymore, and put her in?
I'm assuming she became unmanageable. Yeah.
And just put her in like into foster care.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have no information. And
wow.
I tried. They moved to Nevada. In school, she was extremely popular.
Of course she was. Mean girl.
Mean girl. I don't need to talk because you're reading my mind. It's hilarious. I mention often nowadays, when you have psychic friends, it's almost impossible to have a conversation because everybody is up in everybody else's head. Everybody knows what everybody. It's true, isn't it?
It is true. Yeah.
When you and Deborah and I get together, it's almost like a silent communication. Yeah. Okay, let's be serious. So she was popular, but she was a bully. She belittled and intimidated younger students. Early marriage, early pregnancy. She got convicted of shoplifting. Divorced. Then she set fire to a house that her second husband was building for fraud, insurance fraud, and quite a number of houses, and she got away with it. Quite a number of houses that he built, she tried to burn down. She had many affairs especially with his rich clients. I'm only on page 2. She had this history the whole time she was married as a full-blown adult. She was engaging in a variety of all these crimes, and later in retrospect they were able to prove that they were true, and they could bother to convict her of all of them. They had so much proof, but she was already
in jail.
So,
right,
yeah.
right. So why bother?
Arson, elaborate con games, just too complicated to describe. Forgery, theft, insurance fraud. She would introduce her third husband, Kenneth Kimes Sr., and now this is after she changed her name again to Sante. So she would introduce him as an ambassador. And they used that to get into a vice presidential reception,
with
and
Ford.
From there into a White House reception. Just, she fooled the Secret Service.
And her husband, supposedly, that particular husband kind of got off on her kind of mischievousness and all that, right?
He abetted her for sure.
He was probably psychopathic too.
Yeah, I think so. She impersonated Elizabeth Taylor because she did look vaguely
a little bit like her.
Kind of a rough Elizabeth Taylor.
She definitely modeled her looks after her. She had the big hair and
the makeup,
the
chunky jewelry. People would come up to her, "Oh, Elizabeth Taylor," and she would sign autographs.
Didn't they notice her eyes were like black, and Elizabeth Taylor's eyes were like supposed to be so blue they were violet?
Yeah, beautiful, really beautiful. She would go as like an act of charity to help at shelters.
Oh no.
And she would lure really young immigrants who were undocumented. We'll give you a job. And so they'd come to the house, and then they would hold them. They would enslave them.
Gosh, she's evil, man. So evil.
Well, she went to prison for it for 5 years.
She's truly evil.
She's got this child and a husband sitting around cooling their heels, waiting for her to get out of prison. Then there were the civil cases against her, which we don't even need to deal with that.
Because there's so many of them.
There are so many financial cons.
Right.
It took me hours to figure out what are they talking about. I couldn't invent it.
Follow it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And she did the long con. She was a grifter, and she was
massive.
Happy nurturing relationships for years in order to eventually, with the con in mind. Unbelievable.
Wow.
She got in trouble with the guy who went to the cops because she conned him out of money. She first, cultivated a relationship, and then he got mad when he realized what had happened. He'd been had, and he went to the cops. And so she went to his office and burned down the office.
Oh my God.
All the documents that would have been used in court against her.
Wow. You don't underestimate the psychoness of her, man. She would do anything.
Then there's this other guy that, the same guy whose office she burned down, she wasn't done. So she invited him to go on vacation with the family to Costa Rica, and nobody ever saw him again.
Oh my.
I told you, this is unbelievable. She had offshore accounts you're frozen in horror.
I lost you.
Yeah, you were frozen in horror.
Yeah.
She had all these offshore bank accounts in the Bahamas. So she and her now, almost adult son Kenny drugged her banker and drowned him in the bathtub, and then dumped his body in the ocean, and it was never found.
That's just insane. I mean, it's just so insane.
Then she convinced a notary. Okay, they bought a house, and they had this guy bamboozled into signing papers that said it was his house, although it wasn't. And they did it for this elaborate loan fraud that they did. And he discovered it, and he had threatened to expose her to the cops. So the son killed him and dumped his body in a dumpster in Inglewood, close to where I went to college. And probably around the same, later. This is in the 90s. So this all culminates.
I remember seeing that. I watched a Dateline. Oh, we're going to freeze again.
Oh, we are?
We're frozen for a second. It's probably because the storm came in. The Dateline, I saw the Dateline episode that kind of went through some of the stuff. It's just, and it's not all in there. But what is in there, you're just like, how could this person is insane. Then there's that movie I told you about. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet, but Mary.
I started watching it.
Is it bad?
It was, I started watching it. It was like if Hallmark made a movie about a psychopath. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's worth watching.
It's kind of interesting, but yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched the Dateline thing. Who was the Dateline host?
I think it was a skinny guy. What's that guy's name?
What's his name? Starts with a K. Keith?
Yeah, Ken or something like that.
Yeah.
Keith Morrison. Keith Morrison.
Keith Morrison.
Yeah, it's Keith Morrison.
He always leans on stuff. He always leans up against stuff.
And then
oh my.
Oh my.
I love him.
Yeah.
I know.
He's great. He's got the great voice too for it, just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's perfect.
If anybody enjoys Dateline, which, how could you not? There's a great podcast called A Date with Dateline. And these two women who are friends from college, but now they're, women of a certain age. And they have kept their friendship all this time. And they created this podcast. It's hilarious. They watch episodes of Dateline and then they talk about them. One of them tells the other about her date with Dateline. And they have done it for so long now that they actually have identified all the repeating tropes, the scene where the family sorrowfully stands at a table and looks at loose
right. Yeah. You don't have to watch that many of them to get the gist
but
of how they're.
They have a bingo game that they created, and you play bingo. It's hilarious podcast. If you're looking for something as a good distraction, they're very, very funny. So, okay. So long story short, they researched people really well. So they knew they were predators, and they knew who they were going to go after. And they discovered this widow of a multi, I don't know if he was even a billionaire.
Yes, her name was Irene.
I've got it written
Jewish
down.
last name. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've got it written in 16 different places, so I can't remember. The more I write it down, the less I remember. But it doesn't matter, because what they did is I don't know if she was hurting for money. I don't think she was really hurting for money.
No, she wasn't hurting for money.
Lonely.
She was really wealthy. She owned a big building in like Park Avenue or some
huge townhouse.
Huge townhouse. Yeah. She had all these parties and all these friends, but she had all these empty rooms, and she wanted to have company. But she did charge a lot of money for rent. Like it was like $5,000 a month.
Yeah, well, it's all relative, right? That's chump change.
But I think she felt like probably if they could afford that, then that would weed out the riffraff, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So
I wonder
that's what she thought.
Yeah.
That's I think what she thought.
Oh, she was a former ballerina.
Yeah, she was a ballerina.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of a Pearl Mesta kind of person, like, famous for being a hostess, right?
Yes, she was like a socialite. Yeah, she was a famous socialite.
She had a lot of very loyal friends who really, really loved her. So she had these apartments kind of carved out of this gigantic townhouse that she was renting out. And so they set them up. The Kimes set the situation up. Kenny presented himself, and he was not bad looking, and he knew how to pretend, right? He had that superficial charm. Check off your psychopath's checklist. And he rented an apartment in her building, in her house, and sneaked his mother in to live with him, and they were going through this woman's documents and personal belongings. Every time she left the house, they came out like cockroaches and went through all of her stuff. They knew everything about her, and what they planned on doing was they were going to kill her, and then Sante
take ownership of
to be her
and take ownership of the building. Right.
Exactly. They got caught.
Of course they did. I mean, the one dumb thing about them is like she knew like thousands of people. I mean, she was kind of famous in New York as a socialite. People are going to notice that she's not the right person. I mean, even if, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in New York, there was all kinds of newspaper articles about her death and her being missing. It's like people aren't going to just accept this random wannabe Elizabeth Taylor as her. I mean, they don't look anything alike. It just completely cuckoo and stupid.
No, it was not well thought out, but then
it was idiotic.
The cards reflect that. I'll tell you, I was amused.
Well, she couldn't have been very bright, Sante, because she isn't one of those people that never got caught. You know, there are some people that do these horrible, horrible things for years and don't get caught. But it seems like all she did was get caught. She kind of get caught in all of her ridiculous, impulsive,
you know?
And and grandiosity and impulsivity. Like she's kind of out of control, you know?
Yeah, it escalated. She, so they, New York, you know, they charged both of them with this murder. And they put 2 and 2 together in Los Angeles, and they were going to ship them to Los Angeles and have a trial there. So they got found guilty, life in prison in New York. Kenny negotiated with the California authorities because they have the death penalty in California at the time. And so he negotiated, long story short, he got them both life in prison, no death penalty.
To turn state's evidence against his mom.
He turned state's evidence against his mother.
Right.
The only thing we didn't talk about is if you watch the Dateline, you can watch them holding hands during the whole interview. It's like they're on a date with Dateline.
Right.
It really appalling, really unbelievable.
No, they did talk about it on the Dateline and how everybody thought it was really odd and inappropriate and made people wonder if there was something going on.
They were
yeah,
it's weird. So she died. She died in prison. She died fighting to the bitter end for a retrial because it was unfair. In both of her big trials, both in California and New York, at some point during her victim statement, because she was the victim, her victim statement at the end of the trial, before she was sentenced, both times the judge had to tell her, shut up and sit down.
Wow.
They had enough. They all had enough. So really entertaining, awful, scary that there are people that are feral. She's just feral, you know.
I just rewatched this movie called Big Eyes, which is about the Keane paintings and how it's an interesting story because Keane was not the painter of those paintings. The woman he was married to was actually the painter of those paintings. Yeah, he put his name on that and kind of had this whole really he was a bullshit artist and clearly a psychopath. And same thing happened in that where she basically sued him for slander because he was saying she was crazy and making it all up. And then the judge got tired of him just babbling on about how great he was and all these people he knew. He said, okay, we're going to get art supplies. You guys are going to both just sit there and paint. And whoever can paint a Keane is going to win this case. And of course he couldn't paint. I mean, she didn't even know he wasn't he was such a good bullshit artist that she thought for a long time he was actually a painter as well.
But he wasn't. No artist at all.
Not at all. Not at all. He could not paint. And so she won the case that way. But yeah. So that was
I love that. I didn't know that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great story. You might like it. It's kind of fun. Okay. So should I go into what's going on with the astrology?
Yeah, I'm going to spread the cards out here while you talk. Go right ahead.
Well, guess what? You're going to be so surprised by this. But what does she have?
Let me think. Nodes.
A nodal conjunction.
I don't fully understand, but okay.
She has a nodal conjunction. to her sun with Hayumea in right there in Pluto, and all on her sun. She's a Leo with a Uranus exactly squaring her sun, and a moon in Capricorn. All right. So, so the grandiosity and the performance and like the pretending to be Elizabeth Taylor and all that ego and wanting to be the center of attention and being really bossy and what was the other thing we were talking about? Bully, just bigger than life kind of personality. That's the sun in Leo, but with the South Node on it, there's also an entitlement, a dark entitlement. She believes she's totally entitled. It's all about her. No one else matters. Making matters worse is the square to Uranus, which makes her erratic, impulsive. You don't know what she's going to do next. Like what version of her are we going to get? And then she's got Mars opposing her moon in Capricorn, and a bunch of Cancer. So she's manipulative as fuck too. But anyway, the moon in Capricorn is considered to be, and I say this gingerly because some people have moon in Capricorn and they're not a bad person, right? But a moon in Capricorn is considered to be the worst placement that you can have in your natal chart, because the moon is how you're supposed to nurture. It's naturally supposed to be in Cancer, which is the sign of the mother, and it's nurturing and and mom-like. And in Capricorn, it's the opposite. It's cold, shut down, calculating. And in her case, she has a kite to that moon, which is interesting. So she's the first, I think, serial killer or whatever she is, con woman that I've seen with this, with a kite. But what that is she's got a
they qualify as serial killers.
Yeah, serial killers. Yeah, serial killers, con person. She's extraordinarily materialistic. She's got Uranus trending her moon, trending her Neptune, sextiling her Mars, Venus. So she's got this kite, and she's good at materializing, getting what she wants, making things happen, manifesting, right?
Manipulating,
And in her case, though, the manifestation is all about she wants it now. She wants to do it. She just wants what she wants when she wants it. So she doesn't have the good aspect of the earth sign kite trine, which would be, working towards something, manifesting something out of your own will. She just wants it instantly now. Training her.
Are you saying kite, K-I-T-E?
Yeah.
Like a twin or like the bird?
No. So, okay. So in astrology, when you have 3 planets trining one another, it's called a grand trine. She has a grand trine with an opposition. So it looks like a kite if you were to look at it I can't show you what it looks like, but it looks like a triangle with a sextile at the bottom, and there's an opposition. So, an old fashioned kite where you have this triangle with another triangle, and there's like that like cross in the center, and you fly your old kite. That's what it looks like.
I remember I made them.
In terms of the aspects, that's what, if you look at a chart, it will look like a kite.
Yeah.
It'll be shaped like a kite. Well, she has that. And generally, I just wrote a piece about this on Substack about how this is a very harmonious aspect. Okay. It implies that she's got a skill or an ability from other lifetimes, and it comes naturally. She doesn't have to think about it. She's got this natural gift. Now, the thing about natural gifts and abilities and ease of use is, Star Wars. Okay, I'm going to bring up Star Wars. I know you don't love Star Wars, but the Force is not good or bad. It's not negative or positive. It's neutral. It's how you apply that energy, whether you apply it for good or evil. And she applies it for evil. So she's got this gift of manifesting what she wants, of getting what she wants, of being conniving and and knowing how to manipulate people and who to steal from and who to victimize. And with the South Node on her sun and Haumea on her sun and Pluto on her sun, she's a control freak. And she comes in with all this shadow stuff where she wants to be the queen. She wants to be the center of attention. She feels the right to privilege, that she should have everything her way. And so she uses her natural ability to manifest things, to kind of have a tantrum and lead people where she wants to manipulate people to get what she wants, as a dark kind of gift. And
it's like the magician, only evil.
like, yeah, like a black magician. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. She's a black magician. So she's prolific, right? And that grand trine kite situation only exaggerated her shadow dark stuff. And she got a lot of people to do other things for her with all that Cancer, like her child. Cancer rules your kids. And opposing her moon
and most of the
and
people
Capricorn.
she killed, she got to do things, lawyers and real estate people.
Right.
And
She was
they got rid of them. Yeah. Huh.
right. She was a brilliant manipulator, all this Cancer, and then this grand trine in Earth. And people probably she just had this like charm and power, and people just felt like, wow, she, if anyone could pull this off, she can pull this off. And then they were left in the lurch because she's evil. And that's her. She used her gift for evil. And this is not the first
like
lifetime she did it.
You never turn your back on her. You know?
Right. She was something else, probably bigger than life. That's for sure. Yeah.
Do you see her relationship with her son reflected in that chart at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, really, her children in this configuration are really just there to be used for her benefit.
Yeah.
She's got the moon in Capricorn opposing Mars and Mercury. And she had all sons, right? That's the Mars opposition.
She had two sons. She had her son, Kenneth. Kenneth and Kenny. But her older son, actually, as he became an adult, he wrote a book about her.
Right.
It's supposed to be really good. He was the product of, I think, her
first marriage or first relationship.
Well, she had a first very brief. It's interesting. I got a lot of sources and put them together. And there were different things in different sources, not conflicting, but adding to the story. So I didn't even know she had a previous first marriage until I had done some research in several different places. So she married her high school boyfriend right out of high school. That lasted no time at all. Then she married a different high school boyfriend. And I think people conflated the two. So This Kenneth Sr. was her third husband.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's weird that her children share that. I mean, I just think that's weird. I don't know. The whole thing was weird.
Well, I mean, it's weird that she named her kids basically the same name too. I thought
that's
it was
what
odd.
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of nuts. So, but the thing about her chart is, I mean, she doesn't have any maternal instincts. I mean, it's all about strategizing to get what she wants and manipulating people and victimizing people. All of her Cancer stuff's in the 12th house. So it's all about how can I manipulate this person, get them, move them around, get what I want. So her children are just extensions of that. I mean, she doesn't have any compassion. She's kind of extremely lacking in compassion, and except for herself, which is not compassion. She's very selfish. I don't know what houses these things fall into, but because we're looking at a solar chart for her, but she's certainly, she's cold. She doesn't have she's shut down.
Funny you should say that. Wait till you see her cards. Her brother. So the allegation is they had a more than fraternal relationship. Can you tell by her chart?
Let's see. Venus is in Cancer. I mean, I don't have the time of her birth, but the Venus, Mars, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't the one who. That's why I asked if it was an older brother or a younger brother. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't the one who instigated it. Frankly,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we do our cards? And
sure.
Do you have information enough to do Kenny
Jr.?
Yeah,
I have Kenny. I have more information on him than her, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So talking about being cold, at the heart of the reading, I got the King of Swords crossed by the Three of Wands. Is that the Three of Wands? No, the Nine of Wands. God, I'm going blind. The Nine of Wands reversed. It's not. Right.
So am I. My eyes are getting really bad. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to the eye doctor. It's ridiculous. So what I got from that is that she's very cold, no emotion, just all.
That's right.
Thinking all the time.
That's right.
Not thinking very well. But this indicates someone who's always planning and conniving, but
scheming.
Yeah.
She's a schemer.
And very, very controlling and frustrated because things are not going her way. Now, when I did these cards, the time I always establish is right at the time where they get caught for the crime. So the crimes have been committed and now they're in trouble. So what are we looking at here? So in the atmosphere, I got the Knight of Swords reversed. So that again, it's a reflection of always thinking on
overthinking. Yes.
But once again, thwarted, but also a reckless person that she's smart and devious, but acts too much in haste.
Right. That's right. That is exactly what her chart says. Yeah.
Controlling, planning, aggression. Those are the other things.
That's exactly what her chart says. Yeah.
But look at, this is how she sees herself. I think this is the foundation. This would be, if you asked her, this would be her opinion. Can you guess what it is?
Amazing, beautiful, gorgeous.
Six
the greatest thing ever.
Victorious.
Yeah.
Yes,
always winning. Always
this
winning.
Is like ego, narcissism,
Right.
pride. In the context of the other cards, she loving attention, loves the public.
Yes, she does. Loves attention. The center of attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except to write all this stuff down because I can't even remember my own name if I don't write it down. Okay, and the recent past, I got the Two of Pentacles.
Oh, okay. Money.
Aren't these cards pretty? Aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty. What deck is that?
This is the Golden Tarot or something related to Golden Tarot. Here, I got the box right here. She did another one very similar called the Golden Tarot. Same artist. It's the Touchstone Tarot. And it's using authentic Renaissance and late medieval art, and then just changing it a little bit to make it look tarot.
Right, to make it work. Yeah. For tarot,
yeah. So we're at the Two of Coins in the recent past. This is always juggling the projects and the money, and this is the story of her life. I feel like always working these devious financial situations. Right. Yeah,
definitely.
Look what I got. Okay, so she's been arrested. The crimes are committed. The devil reversed.
Wow,
you love that.
That's so perfect.
It does my heart good when the cards line up and make sense, right?
Yeah.
So, a toxic belief in her ability to get out of anything. And she fought this, like I said, till the day she died. She was in her 80s when she died in prison. And she never stopped.
Control freak.
She paid a guy.
Right.
Especially to fight it in court all the time. She was convinced she was going to get out of prison at some point.
Yeah. She's so entitled. And she's used to that from other lifetimes, getting whatever she wants.
Right. Now, this cracked me up. So we talk about how she sees herself, or, what she is really in the environment around her together. But even separately, it's hilarious. Page of Cups. It's like, I care so much for you. We have such a relationship. Not really. Look at the fish stinking up the cup.
She says, well, that's a Pisces card, and that's an interesting other way to look at it is Pisces. The negative aspect of Pisces is the con man. It literally is. That's what it represents.
Yeah. You can't trust what you're being offered, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And then in the environment of the Two of Wands, always planning, always plotting, always.
Right.
The emotional connections are purely
fake
for manipulation.
Right. Totally fake.
In the what do you call it? No, I got that wrong. Hang on. In the hopes and fears, I got the Hangman reversed. Isn't that interesting? So she was having to give up control, being incarcerated,
surrendering
to get out of prison. It's just reflecting all
against
of
her
stress.
will.
Yeah, going through her. And then finally, the outcome, I got the 10 of Pentacles, which cracked me up, because you can look at it as something being handed down generation to generation. So I think it's a little bit of a commentary
Inheritance.
on pathology,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What she got from her family of origin, what she passed on.
Well, the materialism, perhaps the materialism, the inherited psychopathy, and the things she left them, the legacy of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I want you to note the card that's crossing this outcome. Just
okay.
file it in the back of your mind for future reference. The World, reverse.
Oh, wow.
So her world's falling apart. Her foundation of her world was always just unstable. It was based on this self-illusion and delusion.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. Right.
So that's Sante. No, excuse me, Sandra. Okay.
Or Sante, or whatever she said. Okay, so we want to go into Kenneth, right? Is it Kenneth Kimes Jr., right? And he's born March 24th, 1975, right?
That sounds right.
At 8:19, born in Los Angeles. Okay, so it's interesting because he does not, and I mean, he has one nodal conjunction with Neptune in Sag. Mm-hmm. And his mother he's got the moon in Leo in the 5th house. Okay, so that's mom. Is the world revolves around mother. Everything's about mom. Mom is not just the moon in Leo, but she's also in the 5th house, which is the Leo house. So she's like mega Leo. She's like she's a total narcissist. It's all about her, and everything revolves around her, including her children, and this is also interestingly placed in the house of the 5th house, is the house of lovers. Okay. So
snap.
Okay. Snap. Yeah. So it makes you think maybe there was a sexual relationship, at least certainly an emotional, if not physical, like he was definitely in love with his mother. Totally. I mean, I don't know if they actually did anything with that, but there was certainly emotional, and I don't see why she wouldn't have crossed that boundary looking at her chart, because she's cold. She's cold and manipulative, and if she thought that he wanted that, she would have done it. She didn't care about anyone but herself. In fact, she might have used it against him.
Denise, I don't think that she'd be passive. If he wants it, well, maybe I'll go along. I think
no. She would be the predator, but I think if she thought that he could, if she thought that he would respond to that, well, she would do it.
Advantage. Yeah.
If to her advantage. Now, if she felt like in her case of her other son, I don't think that guy would have responded well. I think he would have. That would have been that dynamic. I don't have his chart, but just listening to him speak, I think he would have probably ran away from home or something. She wouldn't have done it to him because he wasn't in her clutches in the same way. But this kid, he was infatuated on some level emotionally. Around everything revolved around mom, so he was more likely to be victimized in that way by her. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if the older son lived with his father after a while. Kenny, of course, lived with her and Kenny Sr., but she homeschooled him. Don't joke.
Right. So she really isolated him. And so she was the center of his world. And that's why she could take advantage of him, and why I think this might have been different with this son than with the other one. Yeah. The other thing that's interesting that kind of leans towards the fact that he might have been molested by his mother is the fact that that he has Venus ruling his chart in his 1st house, opposing Uranus, which is some kind of unconventional relationship or something, and in Scorpio, some kind of forbidden, weird kind of sexual relationship that is outside the norm, taboo. Okay. So those two things kind of make me think he was molested by his mother. And he's got the moon ruling his 4th house, which is his environment growing up. And that is in Leo.
Deception.
Well, the moon in Leo, it's the mom controlled the home. The mom, it was the center of it. The mom is the one who's manipulating everything. The mom is, everything's about mom. And that's, yeah, and there's secrets with the Uranus, Venus, and Mercury and Pisces. He's taught to crime and also taught to keep secrets and to manipulate and to not tell people things. And, you know, it's, and it trines the Saturn here. So Saturn in Cancer, the father is actually a little bit more benefic in his chart. His dad was probably a little more nurturing, you know, more normal a little bit than the mom.
Well, she spent 5 years in prison. He was home alone with his dad.
Okay, so dad took the place of mom. That's Saturn in Cancer then, and he was probably better at it than mom. You know, he was probably a better parent than she was, and because his Mercury trines that. His Neptune in conjunct his Saturn. So his father, did his father die eventually? Like while he was,
yeah, his father died of natural cause. Well, natural cause.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Who knows? How old was he when, was he younger when the father died?
No, I don't. Oh, you mean the son?
Yeah, Kenneth.
I can look it up, but give me a minute. But I forgot to tell you something really I thought was very funny. The press invented a nickname for them.
Yeah.
Mommy and Clyde.
Mommy and Clyde. That's pretty great.
Do you love that?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second.
He's got, you as you're looking that up, the other thing that's interesting about his chart, he's got a lot of inconjunctions. His sun Jupiter in conjuncts his Uranus. You know, and this could speak to the fact that and his Pluto in conjuncts his Mercury. His Pluto opposes his sun. It's the controlling thing. I think his Venus is also making an inconjunction to his Pluto. He's got a lot. He's got a lot of inconjunctions, which imply that he's kind of dissociative, and that he might be a little neurodivergent or something. And this may have made him more pliable to being influenced, as well as also being isolated. And that there's like almost like different aspects of his personality that don't interconnect. And that could be sort of, you know, he's got schisms in his personality. Like, so some part of him, you know, is this way, another part, but they don't integrate. He's unintegrated. And that could be a result of the trauma, you know, being molested by his mother and having feelings about his mother. Yeah.
So he was born in 1975.
Yeah.
They didn't get married until 1981.
Oh, wow.
She was arrested in 1985. So he was 10 when she went to prison. He was 15 when she got out of prison. He was 16 when his father died.
Oh, wow.
Ken Sr. died in 1994 of a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
So
wait, he died. Wait, he died in what year did he die? So she went 94. To prison in 1985.
Yeah.
So Uranus was on his Neptune right there in the 8th. Okay. And then he died when? The dad died when?
Yeah, I misspoke. He didn't die the year after. He died in 1994. He died not quite 5 years after. 4, 3. Whatever.
So he was still a teen. He was a teenager then, right?
He would have been. So let me think a second. Oh, he was 19 when his father died.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of, yeah. So he lost his dad on the young side. Yeah. Saturn square Neptune.
Lost his mother at a pretty formative age. I mean, 10 years old.
That's very formative. Yeah. Very formative. Yeah. Definitely. Interesting. Yeah, but then she came back, right? And maybe that also kind of romanticized her, the moon and Leo in the 5th.
Well, I was going to say, maybe it romanticized him. She comes back and he's this full-grown young man.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know? That's really weird.
That's true. Oh God, you're right. I didn't think about that, but you're right. That could have been when they started.
That connection, that maternal connection was ruptured when she went
to ruptured. Prison. Exactly.
And so when she comes back, he's kind of a hot commodity, right? And she, older woman, younger, cute guy. I mean, he wasn't unattractive. No,
he's fine. I mean, I didn't really think about it.
Oh, no, Denise, he's fine.
Is he?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
that turn of phrase? Fine.
Yeah, fine. It means you're good
yeah.
looking, but I didn't really, I don't know if he, that's why I was saying, is he that fine? I don't remember him being ugly, but I don't remember him being that
Oh, he was
attractive.
tall and dark
Right.
haired, and
he looks
was
like
very-
her, so he must be hot, right? He's her child.
Right. He takes
And
after
she's a
his mother, so he was
narcissist.
handsome, devastatingly handsome. He was
Right.
charming. He was really good at manipulating people. So
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if that's probably, maybe that is when this started. He had a Jupiter opposition to his Mercury, his moon coming up within that couple of years of that. So maybe you're right. Maybe it was the rupture of the bond, and then her coming back into the household as a kind of a stranger, and the dynamic shifting that kind of turned it romantic. Because in 1986, this Jupiter opposition to his Mercury happens. I mean, to his moon in the 5th. And mom could have become like a romantic partner. And he has Pluto going through his 7th, opposing his Venus. So his mom becomes his lover.
Well, it's like she moves back home only to find like a younger man available.
Right. And she doesn't have any maternal instinct. So
no.
It doesn't.
And she has no compunction about using people.
She has no morals. So yeah, why wouldn't she? Yeah, makes sense.
This is so interesting. So did we get him all? You got all his?
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's talk about his percent. Did I mess this up here? Okay. I'm trying to move stuff around on my desktop. Okay. So in terms of his personality, yeah, he's very broken into pieces. He's not cohesive. He's got Venus on the ascendant in Taurus, so yeah, he probably would be good looking, right? And a Uranus opposition, so he's a little different. He's been isolated. He's probably doesn't have a lot of friends, right? Wasn't he kind of isolated too, as well?
Very isolated, yeah.
Okay.
He was kept at home when he was a child. Then she was gone, and I don't know how his childhood between 10 and 15 was handled, but by the time his mother came back, he was in the throes of puberty, a little past that, and just
right. He's really kind of awkward. That Venus opposition to Uranus, socially awkward probably, but attractive, good looking. Probably want to get, didn't want to all that 12th house Aries, wants to get along. It seemed like he's, a nice guy. But he's also, very self-centered. He's got the Sun Jupiter conjunction in Aries. It's hidden though. At first you might not see it. He's got the node and Neptune conjunct in Sagittarius, which indicates, again, shadow stuff, past life stuff. And actually in Sagittarius, it's sort of religious trauma. It can be religious trauma, being victimized through religion, being victimized through, or it could be violence, and it's in Sagittarius, but some kind of victimization. And also the sort of push for him to feel like, hey, why not? Why not take advantage? Why not, take advantage of people out down on their luck for my own advantage, to sort of take advantage of and become kind of a shyster. It's like his mom trained him to be a thief, right? He's got a Mercury Neptune square cut. I know this sounds weird, but his natal chart kind of implies he kind of came to her probably because he wanted to and this sounds weird, but kind of to learn to be a con man and a thief. And that she is kind of his teacher in that, and that he may have had lifetimes like that, but probably not as many as she's had, being like a princess, like everything revolving around her, and that she's kind of she's a teacher in terms of how to steal and take and victimize others for your own benefit. And I don't know why one would want to do that, but it's almost like this particular chart kind of implies that, like you think about, well, why do people incarnate that are doing bad things? Well, it's almost like he purposely incarnated to do bad things. Like he wanted to experience a lifetime where he was the bad guy.
I was going to ask you, what if he incarnated in that situation to be? It's like okay, I'm going to get all philosophical here. The
Yeah.
Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, his thing was that it's not what happens to you in your life, it's how you react to it.
That's correct.
So
I
what
agree
if
with that.
he incarnated in this terribly manipulative con artist environment for the challenge of trying to rise above it? Because that's the cards I got.
Well, I mean, that could be the spiritual motivation
That's what I'm
for
saying.
why he did that. But the problem is the trap of this is that, the Neptune on the node, the North Node kind of being what you're afraid of, your big challenge in life, but also, your spiritual purpose, what you came here to deal with, right? So the Neptune node thing is all about trickery and victimization and so that and spirituality, rising above, letting go, right? So he kind of learned both of these lessons through his relationship with his mother, right? I mean, he learned to take advantage of people and to trick them and to kind of manipulate things. But ultimately, he also learns that he has to sort of, if he wants to save his mother, his teacher, his lover, he has to turn against her, and kind of have a come to Jesus moment and let go of his, let go of all that he's done and kind of be open about it and also forgive himself and his mother so he can save her from the death penalty too. So there's a lot of spiritual lessons in this for him that are not the same motivation as her at all. In his case, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's maybe he has psychopathic tendencies. I'm sure, and he's certainly got the Neptune nodal thing where he's being taught to become more of a psychopath in this lifetime. But he doesn't come into it full blown in the same way that she does. He could have.
So what you're really talking about is that long debate: is it nature versus nurture? And to the best of my understanding, if it's nature, if you're born that way, then you're more likely to just be a straight up psychopath. If it's imposed on you externally from nurture, it's more likely that you're a sociopath.
Sociopath, yeah.
Splitting hairs really in official psychological terminology, but the way we use it in the vernacular, sociopath is somebody who is made, who's got a criminal personality, whereas a psychopath is somebody who is born. Now,
that's right.
The psychopath,
I would say,
go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that he probably has a little bit of the psychopath in him to be able to push that way. I mean, that Neptune node thing,
well, they're similar. They overlap.
He's got the tendencies, but if he was in a different situation, if he wasn't in that situation with someone training him, because he's so, like, the other thing about him that's weird is that he's so unintegrated, meaning he's fractured. He's like somebody with multiple personalities. You know what I'm saying? So that's an easy person to manipulate, and push people in certain directions. So you have to feel a little bit sorry for him that if he had a mother that wasn't so evil, he probably would have been pushed away from that tendency and into more of a spiritual path because he wants to please, he wants to please his mother. He wants to sort of, and he's got the sun and Jupiter in the 12th house. He's easily taken advantage of too. You know what I'm saying? And led astray. So
I think it's important to just reiterate that not all psychopaths are serial killers.
No, right. No, that's right.
Yeah. You could be psychopathic and never actually commit a crime like that or
even close to that.
Little tiny crimes. But a small percentage of psychopaths go on to be violent and dangerous.
That's right.
To other people.
That's true.
Most of them are unemotional, thrill-seeking people. Right. Good neurosurgeons.
Right. And CEOs.
Yeah, good preachers.
And preachers.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay, so should I go?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. Yeah.
I'm dying to show you what I got at the heart of this. This is who he is at his heart. You said that he was fragmented. I wrote down he's conflicted, torn, torn between loyalty to his mother and his own better instincts, his gut instincts.
That's right.
Actually, he's smarter than she is, and a better
for sure.
planner.
Yes.
But he's concerned about her all the time and
That's right.
appearances. He very much wants.
That's right. You're right. The Venus and the Ascendant. That's right.
This is the two halves of his personality. The Hierophant crossed by the Knight of Pentacles.
Wow.
The Crusader for her.
Yes, that's right.
Goals, struggling with the person.
His own spiritual.
More inner wisdom.
Yeah, that's exactly what you see in his chart. He is also very appearance focused, and his mother is at sort of the heart of his emotional life. So he knows, right? He knows it's not right, and he has to compartmentalize because he can't.
So
he can't
integrate with himself. Struggle.
He's a war with himself. Yeah.
Yeah, but struggling to please her always.
Yes.
She always
absolutely
wins.
She always wins. Yeah.
Right. So, and that's what this is. This is in the atmosphere. It's the Page of Swords. He's always worried, always anxious. He knows better, but he feels he's immature and he feels that he needs to do what she wants. He defends her,
Right.
And then at the foundation, this cracked me up. The reverse King of Cups. So all of his emotions are tamped down, right? And kind of dysregulated. And he's easily manipulated. He suppresses his own worries and concerns and guilty conscience, but also he's charming.
Right. Well, he's got Venus on the ascendant. He is charming. He knows the right things to say and how to appear. Yeah.
Don't you love these cards? Aren't they cute?
Yeah, they're cute. Yeah. What deck is that?
I'm digging out the box. I can never remember the name. And it's got a creepy cover. They're not creepy. Isn't that cool?
Oh, the Daydream Tarot deck. Oh, okay. Cool.
Isn't that cool?
I like
it's
that.
kind of childlike,
emo,
but not really.
Emo. Yeah.
So in his recent past, so they get locked up. He's in handcuffs. So this is the Knight of Wands. This is recent past. And this is somebody who takes action. He got a lot of knights here, and I think of him as kind of her champion.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So the one who is the doer and a bit impulsive, but she's really impulsive too.
She's the one who's impulsive. But the knights also, like when I was the Brotherhood of Light interpretation of the knights is that it is intellectual. It's like the person who is. So the fact that there's all this night action going on in his chart, it's like he's in his own head too. Like that kind of implies that he's in his head and he's taking action probably because he's being, in my opinion, influenced intellectually and how to think about things. It sort of reiterates some of the other things that you were saying and that I was saying, which are that he had some of these tendencies, right? But he also has another side that was at war with himself.
Yeah, he's at war with himself. But he's weaponized by her.
Yes, he's weaponized. That's right. Yes, totally. Yeah.
So in the future, on the way in the back of the police car, he's the King of Pentacles reversed. So here is this huge project of power and wealth and acclaim, totally blocked, futile, obstructed. His obsession, with the material world, frustrated.
Right.
And I put stars around this because I thought this was really important. This is about a downfall because of greed.
Right. That makes sense.
Aren't these great cards? I mean, it's almost like somebody new. So now this is him and the environment that he's in. So I got the Magician reversed in the environment of, I'm going to say this right, the Knight of Wands. And I wrote this down. To me, this is somebody who is told you can do anything. I can hear her whispering in his ear, and he's full of doubt about himself. He's not sure that he has
that makes sense.
the necessary skills, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
A lack of self-confidence, kind of.
Yes.
But in this reverse Nine of Wands, any potential he might have is blocked just by the toxicity of everything.
What about the feeling that he might betray his mother? Because that's often what the Nine of Swords is about.
Well, he struggled.
Worried about, struggling with betraying his mother. Yeah.
In big capital letters, I wrote insecurity. The whole thing just stinks. And I read somewhere that you see these kind of cards here in somebody who has imposter syndrome.
Right. That makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And here we have in the hopes and fears. So obviously in the fears, the Four of Pentacles reversed. They're going to lose it all. Right?
Yeah, their money.
And they do. Now, remember what I said about the world reversed?
Yeah.
That crossed her outcome. So he's the Three of Pentacles, like he's the assistant. He's working with her, and
right.
And
that's
also working with
business partnership, kind of. Right, and the government. Yeah.
Government. Crossed by the world reverse. They both
wow.
that. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
So it's like a failure of these long-term plans and projects, and
maybe they also felt the world was against them, like literally.
But they didn't make a good team. They thought they did, but they didn't. Yeah.
Right.
Poor planning. So aren't those interesting cards? I love
Yes, they are. Yeah, very interesting.
It's like somebody knew him. Yeah, it's weird.
Right. It's interesting though. It's you got the same vibe that I did, basically on both. And I really I saw that Dateline thing. Like when we said we're going to do this, which was a long time ago now. I remember it because it was within the year, not like 5 years ago. Maybe I saw it and I don't remember it. Maybe I never saw it actually. But anyway, and I didn't really
I'm sorry.
I don't know because I didn't recognize anything about it. But
this is what it's like to have a friend who's psychic. They're never really sure, what dimension, what time.
Did I see this before or not? But I just remember watching it and kind of like just watching the story and kind of, getting psychic kind of hits
from it. Oh, yeah.
Them.
Oh, they have this weird energy that came off of them. It was really fun. I forgot this before when we were talking about Keith Morrison. I saw him being interviewed by somebody else about her. And I don't remember specifically what he said, but if you can imagine the way he reacts to things, his attitude is very, very wry. It was really good. Yeah, he's really good. I like him. He's kind of funny actually, and his delivery is almost he's wonderful.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
he's the same one who did all those many episodes based on Lori Vallow.
Yeah, that's right.
He went to Hawaii. He's the one who found her in Hawaii.
That's right. He did. That's right. Yeah. I don't know how he can. I mean, I would think that kind of dealing with people like that would be kind of a bummer to always be kind of having to deal with people that are that dark. Maybe that's why he kind of has.
I think he's able to put them at a distance because they're.
Yeah, and just the way he talks about it too is kind of it does have that sort of. Well, look at you. You're something else.
Quite like that before.
Yeah, right. It's it's kind of it's probably how he deals with it.
It's like he's observing somebody in a zoo.
Yeah, exactly. And they deserve that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we pick them for their entertainment. I had an inspiration that I'll tell you when we stop recording, and we're going to have to negotiate this. We're trying to decide who we're going to do next, and it's a little difficult sometimes because these are sensitive. You could tell by our serious demeanor. These are sensitive subjects, and sometimes there are words that we can't even use. It's
right.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. But. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I don't completely understand is like, I'm not labeled for children, my channel. So if you're a kid, you can't see it. So grown-ups can handle things. So I don't really understand why they.
I think it has to do with the delicate sensibility of advertisers.
Oh, okay.
And I think
sense.
They're concerned that somebody will get a wild hair because they won't like some 4-letter word you used, and they'll complain, and the advertiser will lose business.
I
I
see. I
think
see.
that's
Well,
the
that makes
theory.
sense.
Okay.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay, that
It's
makes
always
sense.
about follow the money, Denise.
It's all about the money. That makes
Words of
sense.
wisdom, always.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, but so yeah, that makes sense. So if you don't want to, yeah. But I think people get in trouble even when they don't have advertisers, don't they? Like even if you are a non-monetized
I got
channel.
into all kinds of trouble when I didn't have advertisers.
Right. That's
I-
why I didn't think of that because I knew you did. You weren't monetized and had all
and
kinds of
I go
that's
out of my way not to use sensitive words. I'm constantly winking, and I'm being really
right.
careful.
And also, didn't you have less problems once you became monetized? Because that was my theory that
I
if you're
think
monetized,
I get it 3 times while I wasn't, and 1 time so far while I was. Well, I am.
okay, well that's yeah, but you got more when you weren't, so I don't know.
Well, but over time, you know.
Right, you might have more. You never know.
Let me ask you a question before we go. Now
Yeah.
I'm upset because I quoted a statistic the other day that I looked up several different places to verify it,
Mhm.
and I thought it was enormously high, but it turned out to be true because I got
Okay.
a lot of pushback. Well, that's not right. You're completely wrong. You got it wrong. It's this number does not this number does. Okay. So what I'm talking about, we were talking about climate and heat, and what would you say is the percentage of American households that have air conditioning?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe 35%, 40%. I don't know.
People lost their mind and told me I was making things up because the reality is it's 93%.
The people who have air conditioning?
Mhm.
Okay, well, all right.
So people were very upset.
I believe
So I
that.
thought, okay.
Why would they be
Why?
upset by that? I don't understand. What is that?
Well, because they
I-
love us to be wrong. So
I don't
I think it's important to be accurate if you can. So I thought, okay, I looked this up in a couple of places because we don't have central heating and we don't have air conditioning. So I'm impressed by all of it. But so I went back and I looked in a couple of places, and I went to the United States Energy Commission. It's like a big, it's
right.
coal. Yeah. It was 88% a couple of years ago. It's now 93%. So I started
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, people, climate change.
Why people,
Yeah.
here's why people are not really fully comprehending it. And I didn't know this either. HVAC,
Mhm.
HVAC is air conditioning.
Right. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what the AC is for. HVAC.
Right.
I didn't know that. And what do I know? And I think it's true to say, it's fair to say a lot of people probably haven't given that full thought. If you have an HVAC unit, it's not just, it's regulating the temperature in both directions.
Yeah, of course.
It qualifies as air conditioning. I think when you say air conditioning, people think of the box in the window.
Oh, well, that's silly because central air is the same thing as air conditioning as HVAC. So,
I
but
thought
people,
HVAC was heating. I didn't know that it was.
no, it's both. Yeah. I'm surprised. Like, so what are people arguing with you about? That there's less people that have air conditioning, or
far fewer people, a much smaller percentage, like in the teens, is what people thought.
Oh, that I personally know that can't be true because I mean, all the new houses come naturally with air conditioning, right? There's lots of
something I've never thought about it.
I mean, I lived in Los Angeles, right? And all the old houses that you are all they've all been retrofitted with air conditioning. I don't think I've actually ever, there are places without central air, like you have just like, and I'm not saying everybody has air conditioning, but yeah, you might have a box in your window, but most people that I've been to their houses have some kind of air conditioning situation. There are people that don't. So
I've never lived anywhere where.
But you're living in northern,
yes,
a northern part, and that is true of a lot. Like in Europe, they don't have air conditioning. I've certainly been to Europe, and they don't have air conditioning.
Correct.
I would say probably you could put those numbers in that category if you're living in France.
There's
or
actually
England.
a huge battle. We did this last week. There's a huge battle going on in Europe. Environmentalists versus people who want to put, air conditioning in, because they have central cooling.
Right, they have the floor heating and
stations.
they have different kinds of things. Yeah, it's harder to do it. Yeah. And also like, they have cooling, they have like places you can go to cool off. But the thing
That's
is, in England and stuff, I mean, they didn't need it, and the Great Britain did not need air conditioning. I mean, generally, even in the summers, it used to be pretty moderate, but it's changed in the last 30, 40 years. It's changed dramatically, and Europe didn't need it either. I mean, but now you do. So that's a perfect example of climate change right there.
I was going to say, what might you call that if you had to find a term for it? How about let's try climate change?
Climate change, yeah. I mean, I would say like those numbers that people are saying to you, that's probably about accurate in like Europe. It's probably like 16 or 20% people have air conditioning, or HVAC. But maybe they're from England or something, those people who were arguing with you. But not in the States.
I don't know.
Where everything's new build.
But I feel confident that it's in the low 90 percentile.
I think I'm sure that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least some form of air conditioning, right? Like a unit in their wall, like if they're in an apartment or
all inclusive, any kind of
any kind of air conditioning.
Not my brand of air conditioning. We call it
open the window. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But when you're far northern places and it's generally cool, most of those places probably don't have as much air conditioning. I mean, just even like in Santa Barbara, a lot of the places in Santa Barbara didn't, because my mom lived in that area, because you don't need it. You're right off the ocean,
Yeah.
So, but
the
most people don't live right off the ocean.
Like even worse in San Francisco, but still quite a bit depending on what neighborhood you're in Santa Barbara. The ocean air in the morning. Oh my God, it's absolutely
cold.
Frigid.
Yeah, it's freezing cold.
And it's damp. Yeah.
And it's damp. Yeah. So I mean, like I could see if you lived in if you lived near an ocean,
Las Vegas,
you don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
But anywhere, most people don't live off an ocean. That's, making it cool. I mean, most people don't.
Yeah. And it's interesting in Ireland, I read the Irish paper, and in Ireland, they're really starting to talk quite a bit about the change in the environment and the problems that it's causing, which is a little ironic because if you look, it's just a giant island. So a lot of it is coast, but they do have the inland,
Sure. But the climate is changing so dramatically that even in the oceans are heating up. Like I've just been this kind of crazy and the oceans themselves will become a problem in terms of creating heat.
Well, that thing about the water boiling. Oh God.
I mean, it's just that they hold. Yeah, it holds the water. The water holds in the heat, and it's going to get hotter and hotter. That it actually isn't going to provide much relief living by a body of water. In fact, it could make things. You're in more danger. There's like a lot of activity that will occur because of that. A lot. It's a whole climate science thing, but there's you'll have more hurricanes, you'll have more droughts, you'll have more all kinds of other problems. And Europe actually, as the water heats up, actually Europe is going to be plunged into kind of a real extreme kind of some people say ice age, but I think it's probably more likely to be extreme temperature.
Two opposite, yeah.
Both very, very opposite, like really, really cold and really, really hot.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really hard. So, yeah.
And then put on top of that the water crisis.
That's exactly right. And this is going to get worse. And you're going to get droughts and then deluges. And that's a terrible combination, really terrible. Yeah.
Well, that's the cause of so many flash floods in desert
That's right.
areas.
And that's why it's happening now. It's only going to get more extreme. Yeah.
Look at that camp, that little girls' camp.
I know, right? I know. It's terrible. Terrible.
Think about it. Well, on that happy note.
Yeah. Well,
You can always count on us,
being really
a little
Debbie Downers.
closing weather crisis to round out our story of multiple murders. So, you know, you're
Right,
welcome.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Denise. That was fun.
Thank you, Helen. All right.
I
Have
love
a
it
great
when we
one.
confirm each other's.
I know. I think we always do that kind of pretty much though.
Almost, or at least compliment.
Yeah, it seems like most of the time it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
But this one was really similar, I think.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of over. Well, we both watched Datelines.
So maybe we both were kind of picking up similar things too from that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Let us know if you have a favorite crime you'd like us to look into. You know, tell us who your favorite psychopath is. Slung foil. Slung chip.
Bye, everyone.